At some point in my life, I lost a lot of my functionality and mobility, and I took to the internet and found people's tips and tricks of how to make life easier, better, more comfortable, your home more accessible in small ways and big. And let me tell you, it changed my life. And I am so happy that it was out there. So, this is me giving back. This is what I think, this is my experience, and these are the things that I love. And maybe one of these things can even help you. Number 1 on my list is a big thing. It is this tub that we have. You can walk into it. It also has a seat so you can sit down. However, for someone like me, the seat is basically unusable to just sit in because it's 1, too hard, and 2, when I am taking a shower or a bath or whatever, it's easier if I'm having a really hard time or if I have an episode all of a sudden and I'm like, oh, I'm going down, then it is much easier, much better for me to lay down and even take a lot of baths because lowered energy, not standing, less blood pooling. Wonderful idea. So this accessibility feature is wonderful, expensive, but not practical for me. And this little opening to get in it is kind of small. I have to turn my body to the side and kind of maneuver myself in there, which again, for someone who has a hard time getting their muscles to work and pretend like they're doing their job, this is actually extremely difficult for me and often painful. This tub also has jets, which can be nice. You might think, soothing the muscles. However, I need to take hot Epsom salt baths regularly, and apparently, so I've been told, you should not use Epsom salts in a tub with these kind of jets. So I can't even use this for that purpose. For me, this tub is a 0 out of 0. It is not actually accessible for me. It is harder for me. Although all of these little bar things are kind of nice if you are always falling around. But I haven't ever really used them, to be honest. So these are neutral for me. But overall as a system, a normal bathtub shower combo is easier and better, and I have liked those. Another thing, let's stay in the bathroom. Something so small and simple that almost every house in America has is a toilet paper holder. And I give this absolute 0. If I could give it -0 stars, I would. This thing is the vein of my existence because I can't turn and reach, or my arm is reaching back. I feel like a contortionist trying to get toilet paper off of this thing. So we do not use these. Again, let's not turn very far, stay in the bathroom. The electric toothbrush. This has been an absolute game changer for me. I have had many problems in the mouth area, which if you know, you know. When you have chronic illness, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, blah, 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 I have issues keeping the pH in my body, apparently in my mouth as well, at the proper levels. So I get mouth issues a lot. And this toothbrush, first of all, I didn't even know I was expending so much energy brushing my teeth until I used one of these. And second, third, fourth, fifth of all, I had no idea that I wasn't getting my teeth very clean. My mouth, my tongue, whatever. But this thing is doing double time. It should be paid overtime. I love it. I will keep it. I will buy 5,000 more. This is a staple. This is 1,000,000 stars. Now let's go back over here to the Squatty Potty. I highly recommend this for everyone. Why? Because doctors and PTs, physical therapists, also recommend these for everyone. So I hear. So this one is not the most aesthetically pleasing one that they have out on the market, but it's the one that I wanted and I got. Super easy to clean, super easy to use. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and it can make a world of difference for a healthy body and for one that is a struggling and needs a little extra help. 5 stars out of 5 stars. Not to mention, have you seen their commercials? Go watch their commercials. They're worth every moment. Their commercials are also 5 stars out of 5. Another thing I like to have in the bathroom is multiples. So for example, here we have conditioner, leave-in conditioner, which I use for my curly hair. And I have one of these in the shower and one out of the shower. And if I want one in my room, I'll buy another one and put it in my room. I like to do this for everything in the bathroom. So combs, brushes, tweezers, mirrors, everything is mobile, and I often have multiple of things in different places, so I don't have to get up, travel, reach over into the shower, tub, open all these cabinets. No. We're making things in life easier, so I want something at reach in every single room. I highly recommend. Another thing that was already set up in this space before I came into it are these little handrails and bars. They are in multiple places in the bathroom, the shower, in our room. These things, they're neutral for me. I have used them, not really for their intended purpose, but I have used them and I found them to be helpful. However, I could also just use something else or a cane or not use them at all and probably be just fine. These things have not necessarily made my life any easier, to be honest. Next thing I love and have gone without and always bring right back is a bedside lamp. This one in particular is wonderful because it is touch activated. You might not know until you have a lot of finger subluxation pain or you're pulling your fingers out of joint and they hurt and you can't use them for 3 days. You might not know how much you love something that's this easy. You can barely touch it and it turns right on. Also, I believe this particular light is like supposed to be good for you. It has different colors that are supposed to do things. I don't know. I don't know the science. I'm not a light expert. And even though I'm not a light expert at what all the colors do, I do use all the colors all the time for funsies. Why not? Another thing I have right next to my bed, always and forever, is my back massager and my little massagey handgun thing. Both of these things are great because, like I said, sometimes my muscles get stuck and I also sublux a lot. So I have some little helpers here to help my muscles calm down, relax, and live a better life. And please do remember, if you use any of these little machiney things, to be careful because they are not meant to be used on every part of your body. You can hurt yourself. Another thing that we have done in multiple places that we've lived is have a chair, a nice, cute, comfy chair by the window if you have one, in my room. This is great because with my dynamic disability, I tend to have to do extra appointments with insurance, a caseworker, social workers, all sorts of workers. I've had nurses and people come in and just tell me how they just love sitting on the little chair, waiting for me to do my thing and looking out the window. So this is a 5-star thing all around. And if I want to sit up, well, there's a chair right there. I don't have to go very far to let my body be in a different position with different support, things like that. And now that I'm in PT, some of my PT is done laying down, some of it is done sitting. Something else that we have right now that we haven't always had is an open closet. This I have a love-hate relationship with because we didn't necessarily do this on purpose, but we have kept it on purpose because it is so much easier for me to just see what I have, to reach in, to grab, to direct my husband to the right things out of the closet and clothes that I need. Why do I hate it though? Because I'm looking at it. You know what they say? Out of sight, out of mind. And now I always have that in sight, which means I always have it in mind. Maybe if it was a different place in the room, but it's right in front of me. But right now, functionality wins over cuteness, so we're going to keep it like this. Speaking of closet, I do like folding clothes over hanging clothes. It is easier for my muscles to have something and place it on the shelf and to take it off of the shelf than to pick it up out of a hanging position. It has a little bit more movement in the weight of whatever I'm holding on the hanger because it's moving around more, which means my body has to make up for that. It's a little thing that you might never have noticed, but my body sure does. So I like the folding over the hangy uppy thing anyways. Another thing that we have that just makes sense is 2 mattresses. And this is great in multiple ways. I have been in so much pain and my body's been so fragile that just the slightest bump in breathing on the bed just puts me out. So I don't feel as much movement in my little mattress in my bed when I'm in it when someone is sitting and moving around in this other bed. On top of that, it is so much more comfortable. So different mattresses, I think, has served me well. Water pitcher. I drink a lot of water, and it is important to me that it is of good caliber. So I have a super expensive water pitcher that does all sorts of fancy things. It says, I watched the videos and read the articles. Do I remember them? No. Did I understand them when I did read them? No. No, I didn't. I am not a water scientist. This thing is great because it gives me what I need. Water, good water, safe, healthy water for my little waterless body. But it is heavy. Water pitchers are heavy, and I cannot pour myself water without hurting myself or spilling it everywhere or breaking my glass. We had some like this. I had just found them at Goodwill, to be honest. And these ones I could lift and hold. So I would have one of these filled up next to my bed. Okay. Another wonderful thing is this phone charger plate thing. Need I say more? You don't actually have to plug in your phone, which for me and my muscles and trying to do something that's specific, not the easiest thing. Not the easiest thing. This, just bloop, plop it on. Next, a small living space. Our last place was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a living room, dining room, kitchen, and a really big laundry room, pantry room. It was a really nice space. However, it was impossible for me to take care of. And then when I got really sick, it became all my husband's responsibility to take care of everything. The cooking, the cleaning, taking care of me, moving things, and making all the monies. So we moved to a smaller space. We did live in just one room in the house. Now we live here in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and then this other room, which we can use for anything and everything else, that has cabinets along this one wall where we can put all of our kitchen stuff. We have a little toaster oven and a hot plate thing and a sink. And this has proved to be all that we need, which is wonderful. And it is a much smaller place to take care of, which means it's a lot more manageable. It is also easier for me to get from point A to point B because everything is so close. And it's still 2 rooms, so if we need some space from each other, one person can be in one room, one person can be in the other room. Or if I'm having a really bad migraine day, I can be in this room, we can shut the door, and he can go out there and make more noise and do things and watch TV, do whatever, eat. Because I don't know about you, but when I have a migraine, I don't want to smell food. I can't smell food if I want to continue living. Do I think maybe we will upsize later on as I get better and can take on more responsibilities? You never know. Maybe. These things are everywhere, and I absolutely love them. These behind the door, on the door, hooky things. I'm going to say it once, I'm going to say it twice, I'm going to say it a million times. It is hard to use my muscles. And this is easy. Throwing something up there, throwing a towel up there from the bathroom, throwing my jackets up there, throwing my purse, my hats, whatever. It's just so much easier to throw something up there and to get it off than putting it away, to be honest. Another thing that I love and have is a blood pressure monitor thing. I have several of these. This one in particular is my stepdad's and I stole it. So I'm so sorry. But, for the video, mine is packed away in the other room and I don't feel like getting it. But I have one that is smaller and just goes on your wrist, which was great for me at the time because I couldn't really sit up and I didn't want it on my arm and This has been important. I've had to record my blood pressure regularly for doctors and doctor's appointments. And so having one of these is great. Also, when I'm having a moment and I don't know what is causing it or what's going on, or if my symptoms and how I'm feeling is actually bad enough for me to go get it checked out at a doctor, then I have this right here to check to be like, you know what, still within safe ranges or in normal ranges for me. Either way, I think they're great. I also have my little Fitbit, which I'm just going to throw into this because this thing is also wonderful and monitors all sorts of thingy things, and it is not to be used as a medical device. And my advice is not meant to be used as professional, but I love this, and I have had to give my practitioners and stuff information from this on multiple occasions just to do little checkups to see where I am and compare it with all my other information and testing and symptoms. And that helps give a complete picture and to support other things that we already think is happening or not happening. That was very vague. You get the point. Monitoring things is important and helpful. One thing that I do not have right now that I will work very hard to save up and get one day is the bed that moves up and down. Like you can be sitting up or you can be laying down. That bed. I want it very much. And for me, having a body that is so finicky and doesn't like to be used for any sort of movement, this is really great and allows me to be in comfortable positions without having to use 1,000 pillows. This thing is a whole medicine piece of furniture, little medicine cabinet. And this has been great for a couple reasons, but one reason is because we move houses and places, and I also like to move things around. And if I'm doing worse, we might move this into the room with me. If I'm doing better, we might move it farther and farther away. Either way, this has really proved to be a nice thing. We keep all of the many medications and supplements and whatever health things in this piece of furniture, and it's all organized and it gets to stay all organized. Another thing that I promised myself I would never have, but now have and love, is a TV in the bedroom. There are days that I do not want to move from my comfy little bed. There are days that I couldn't move from my comfy little bed, even if I wanted to. But that doesn't mean I have to be bored or trapped inside my head, and I really have no business being all up in there. So a TV has been wonderful, and my husband and I love to watch movies, binge watch TV shows, and play video games together. And that is a nice, relaxing, bonding thing that we can do amidst the crazy, chaotic life that we live and lead sometimes. If you have dysautonomia, you know one of the things that is really hard is body temperature control. So we have 1,000 blankets. We also have ice packs. We have a ton of these. We get them from the dollar store. They have done us good. These have been better than some of the ones that I've spent a lot more money on. And we have this water bottle thing, which is also great because I don't love being connected to something plugged in into the wall all the time. But this thing gets extremely hot, but it comes with a thing that you can put around it. And I can sleep with this at the bottom of my bed. It stays hot for a very long time. It is not because of electricity. I can boil water as long as I have some sort of heat source or a fire, so you can bring it with you if you're camping or in emergencies. Here, we can still use it in emergencies when we lose power because we can build a little fire outside and heat up the water there. Either way, this thing we use on a regular basis. And it is easy to clean because it is plastic. So something happens, it gets dirty, whatever, I can just clean it. This thing has been a lifesaver and is paying for itself over and over and over again because I use it constantly. Another thing that I love, have found very important and helpful, is this. Full of all of my symptoms and everything that's going on from day to day. Sometimes this is almost minute by minute of what's happening in my life. Other times it's a monthly recap of things that happened and didn't happen in the month. Information is power, so that you can make adjustments to your life to make it easier, so that you can build in things where you see little weak spots, and so that you can give them to any practitioner, doctor, whoever, and that can help them in treating you better and more confidently and getting better results, let me tell you. So I highly recommend having some sort of diary, notebook, pages you fill out so that you can record things going on in your life and things going on in your body and adjust accordingly. To summarize this, some of the things that have made the biggest difference in my life are little things and can be bought off of Amazon, which is great. And some of the things that I thought would be more helpful and more accessible and built for people with accessibility issues, mobility issues, actually weren't as helpful as I thought they would be. What are your tips and tricks? Leave them in the comments below for everyone else to read and to help them out, if you so care to. And thank you for coming around my home and going through my stuff and judging it with me. Wonderful advice. Thank you. I think so too. I am not meant to be used as a doctor or a physician in any adviceal form. Wow. And if I can't get around with a rollator or a cane, then I have no business getting around that day. So I'm going to be staying probably in one space, right here in my bed. Thanks for being here. Be my friend another day. See you that day later.